Hi everybody. Oh, it's been a while. It's been a good while since I've posted anything. Since the last time I posted, I was feeling really sick at that time. But now I'm okay. Everybody's fine. Everybody got over the cold completely. My grandbaby's okay. I just have a sinus infection as usual. That's an everyday thing for me. And but we're good. We're good. So I want to talk about our parents, mothers and fathers, when we lose a loved one. Now, my brother died when I was 13 years old. I basically grew up an only child, as an only child, because I only had a sibling for like 3 years. And that kind of rocked the family for a long time. Anyway, I got married, I had children, and I lived somewhere else. My mom lived here with my dad by themselves, sorry. And life was just normal. My father took ill and he passed in 1996. And I mean, at the time when he passed, he was the sole bread financial supporter of the family. He was the only one working. My mom has not worked since she was very young, and she was basically a housewife. And he was the only one working at the time, and he got ill and passed away. But we have to be careful as children, because sometimes we take so much for granted where our parents are concerned. We forget that we hold them in such high esteem that we forget that they're humans too. There are needs that needs to be met and all of that. And when my father passed, I I went to the funeral thing, went home, whatever. Okay, fine. Grieving process, okay. I found myself, well, this came to me after years. I didn't even think about it when I left my husband and came back home. There were, I didn't, I was like basically unaware because my mother never really talked. She never really spoke about anything. She never really told me anything. I think she told me once. She told me, and then I I came to realization that my God, you know. But I'll get into it as I go along. So when my father passed, I basically went on with my life, with my children, my husband, or whatever. And my mom would come up to my home, like sometimes in the week, like sometimes she would come like every 3 days, 4 days. She would be there a lot, and she would come and play with the grandchildren. She would be there with us, and everything was okay. And then she would go back. She said she's going home and everything. And excuse me, there was never one day. My God, there was never one day when it occurred to me that to ask her if she needed anything. I think I was oblivious and like I don't know what to say. There is no excuse for it. I'm not trying to excuse it. There is, because there's no excuse for it. But I've always been sheltered. As a child, I've been sheltered from a lot of bad. And I was just allowed to do what I wanted to do and all of that. So, thinking about things like my father died, where is my mom getting money? Well, I know they had a bank account together. So I know there was a little money in the bank. And, but I didn't think, well, it was that amount, that little amount, that it could have been even finished and she didn't have anything she needed. I thought she was okay. She never told me anything about it. We never spoke about anything like that. And this, I will, well, when she come and take by me, I'll give her stuff and thing to come over with and all of that. But never like going shopping and picking up her groceries and my groceries. I never did that because I didn't, the need, the need was not a part of my thought process. I don't understand why. I don't know why that happened. I up to recently, I was thinking and I was like, how could you not? How could you, as a child, not think that there is a need where your parent is concerned? That she didn't need groceries, she wasn't hungry, because she never told me that, well, that he didn't leave. It happened one time she told me that, and that was like after the fact, after I brought up the conversation. And that's how I found out what was really going on. And recently is when I came to the realization that my family, my dad, my her side of the family, were the ones who was taking care of her basically when I was doing nothing. And it totally, it broke me down. I was literally broken by it because I was like, how could you not realize that she was in need? But then I knew my father worked for donkey years. When I say donkey years, I mean a lot of years. He's been working since he was very young. I've never seen him not working. That's all I knew him. He first he was sailing, and he came home and he worked at the different places, Cumberland, sugar factory, plastic factory. The last place he was working at was a plastic factory. And I've not never really seen my father out of work. So I thought he had another house that he sold and all of that. I thought there was money. And she was okay. I never asked her anything about it because I didn't need anything. I personally didn't want anything. I just wanted her to be okay. And I did not know that she was not okay. I didn't know that there were times when she was hungry, that she didn't have, that there was a need, her need that needed to be met. But you know, God put things in place when we don't see it. And even now as a Christian, I realized that He was the one who put things in place for her to be okay. That's why I ended up back home here, so that she would be okay and she would be properly taken care of. These are situations when we have to really acknowledge His presence. If it was not for God, wow. If He didn't put things in place, I would have been oblivious for years. After she told me, well, Dad left some money, but it wasn't much and it's finished. I was like, my God. I don't understand how some older people, like an older generation, how could they have lived so carelessly? Well, then I'm going to say that now. Well, then look how I was living, and I'm not like the older generation. No, but that time I was a younger generation. So I'm going to say that how could they have been so careless? But then we're careless now in other ways. You understand me? Things that I personally have things that I regret not doing in my life so that my life would have turned out differently. And I'm sure they had a lot of regrets because I know my mom have a lot of regrets. I know that she has a lot of regrets, but that's another story. But how could they have been so careless that you didn't secure anything for the future? You know? There was nothing like no life insurance. The NIS, my father's NIS was not being paid. He didn't even know that. It's when he passed away and I went to get the funeral, the benefit for the funeral from my mom, from the insurance place, the national insurance scheme, or what used to be Provident Fund at the time, is when I found out that no monies was being paid by the factory that he was working with. The money was not being paid. So it was not paid up, and he was working there a good while. So his NIS was not paid up, so she was not entitled to anything. My God of mercy. He was not checking on these things. He didn't have a life insurance. He was a working man. He was working some dangerous jobs in factories. So he should have had a life insurance. So that if anything happened to him, mommy would be okay. But you see, we live like there's no tomorrow. Basically, most of us live like there's no tomorrow. That nothing is gonna happen to us. We're not gonna get sick. We're not gonna die. We're gonna go on living for a very long time, forever. And that sucks. When you think like that, it's ridiculous because at some point in time, everybody gets sick. Some people need surgery. Some people have to have treatment for certain things. And we have to wake up as parents. No, I am careless now because while I'm not working, I don't have life insurance. And it's recently is when I said, no, I'm not gonna leave that legacy behind. I'm going to start doing something about making sure that if something happens to me, my kids will be able to bury me or whatever. You understand? It might have happened the same way. They might have had to begging people to bury me if anything happened to me anytime. You understand? And it's sad that a lot of people get caught up in this situation. A lot of people get caught in a similar situation where a loved one pass on and there's no money to bury them. You know? And the family has to be struggling and they're caught off guard. Or a loved one is left behind and because things was not put in place, they're left to suffer. I used to always tell my mom I have more kids. I have more kids. I need more brothers and sisters. But and she would have been a lot better off with more children. Because I basically can't really do anything for her. But that's a whole nother story. But as children, We need to be more aware of parents when they're old or older, because we're all they have. Most of the time, when their siblings pass, when the mom and dad would pass and the siblings pass, we are all they have. And if we don't do it, who will? If we don't stand up as children and say, well, this is my thing, I have to take care of my mom or my dad. Because when I was born, they are the ones who stepped up. I mean, of course, we didn't ask to be born, but we here, we have a good life. It's beautiful to have kids. And why not? You understand? Why not have a child and bring it into this world? And because if they didn't have us, we would not be here. You know? We don't just pop up one, they just pop up out of nowhere. They made a conscious decision to have us. So we need to do more as children for our parents. And make sure they know how much we appreciate what they did, the sacrifices they made, the things that they had to do to bring us to where we are today. Yes, we do have regrets sometimes, but there's nothing we can do about that. All we have to do is put a foot forward and make a better tomorrow from today. That's all we can do. You can't go back and change crap. You can't go back yesterday and do anything about yesterday. You cannot. So all we have to do is think about tomorrow. If God spare our lives to wake us up in the morning and we open our eyes to see another day, we need to do much more with it than what we did with yesterday. Accomplish more. Do a lot more with the time that we have, because these days time is so fleeting. So I have a lot of regrets from the way things was done when my dad passed. And I must say thank you to my family who stepped up with my mom. One of my cousins, a couple of my cousins lived with her from time to time, and they were the ones who stepped up when I was basically unaware of what was going on. My mom had a habit still have a habit of not speaking about things, what is going on, not talking about them, not saying anything. And that's exactly what was going on then. I should have been more aware of what was going on. And if I had taken the time to come to her house, come and visit her more often, maybe it would have been different. And that's a whole nother story to that also. Living where I was living and the way my husband was, coming here was an issue. Coming here was an issue. Anyway, I was a child of my mother, the only child at the time, and I should have stepped up. That's a regret I have, that I didn't step up when I should have. I was not more aware when I should have. Of course, these things happen, but still the regret lingers because there was a time when I could have done so much more for her. I do my best now, but there was a time I could have done way more, and things would have been better now because of that. You know? Yeah. Mosquitoes kicking my butt. Yeah, so we need to, as children, as I said, love our parents more, look into their welfare, make sure they're okay. Ask questions. Ask questions. You okay? Do you need anything? Anything at all? Let me know. Call me. Make a list. If they don't say that they need, you go and search the house and see what is needed. And you get it. And you carry it. And you put it away. They will use it. You know? Without them asking, do it. Check their drawers. Make sure they have proper underwear because that's what they did for us, you know? That's what they did for us. It's the least we can do as children. This was a little sad pillow talk. Yeah. I'll try and be more consistent in my posts. It's difficult now because my youngest daughter is out to work and I have my grandbabies all day. And they're a handful, 3 little ones. So I don't have time to go and get any outdoor shots. So most of the vlogging will be done indoors, pillow talk mostly, and whatever else I can come up with for now until like September. Things will be changed up definitely by then. God spare life. And God give us strength and health. Yes, so see you guys soon. Remember to subscribe, like and share. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. If you have anything that you'd like me to talk about that maybe I might know about, drop a comment about it. You know? See you guys soon. Thank you for viewing. Bye-bye.